Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Let's go. It is time for Rise and Energize, bright and early. How we doing, producer Rachel?
Good morning. I'm doing really good. I had an amazing weekend.
Let's go.
I went to a women's conference, Empower Her, and I tried to embody the human connection questions that you had come up with, and I just had a really hard time because I'm not used to trying to just connect with people. Does that make sense? And I understand, yes, it's a networking event, but what I noticed myself doing was holding on to the people I knew. Does that make sense? I'd be like, oh my God, there's so-and-so. And then I would just like be with that person.
Yeah.
And so I'm a little disappointed in myself because I feel like it was a missed opportunity. Does that make sense? It was just this beautiful conference with these amazing women business owners. And instead of me trying to make human connections, I grasped onto the people I knew very tightly because social anxiety. And so I'm a little disappointed in myself because I feel like I took what could have been an incredible opportunity to like learn about other people and went back into myself. And I think
so
that
I have a great solution for this because
oh God.
I've done this as well. This is completely normal. But here's the beauty in what you just said. You have now recognized that you had the opportunity at hand. Like that's the first step, right? Is like, oh, wow, I'm looking at this from a different lens. And that right there is the first step into leveraging those questions, into understanding the framing, into how to put yourself in a conversation. And I think that's the biggest piece where you are now looking at that through a different lens. The other thing that I would say is it's not a lost opportunity because you can reach out to the person throwing the event to see if they'll make any connections, to see if they'll share the list with you. I have shared a contact list of names, right? I'm not giving people, cell phones and emails, but I will, if someone asks me at an event or a conference, I will give them a list of names because I think it's something of beauty to show how much you care and the effort that you're putting forth by following up with people. I mean, heck, I know this guy, David, he reached out to me. He said, hey, I just missed the opportunity. My kids, called. I had to leave about 45 minutes early. There was 2 or 3 people I really wanted to talk to. I couldn't get to. Different situation than you're in. But by David reaching out to me and David started to build a relationship. I find it admirable for someone to take charge, take leap, to reach out and follow up, right? Like you hear me always talking about the follow up, like the relationships are made. What happens after the event? What happens after the networking, that initial networking? So I think you still have an amazing opportunity to reach out. And if they say, no, I don't want to give you the list, well, now you have an opportunity to build a relationship with that person, right? So flip it from, oh, dang, they're not going to give me the list to, well, I have someone right here. Let me build a better relationship with them.
Well, and I created a relationship with her, which is why I even went to the event. Like I was almost not going to go because again, I'm trying to put myself out there and meet new people. So I'm interviewing her for my podcast on Friday, which I think is amazing.
Let's go.
So I feel like, is there like an energy gain challenge that people can do when they're going to like a network event or a conference? Is it like force yourself to meet 5 people you don't know? Like, what can I do for the next one? Because I'm going to try to keep going to more as a challenge to myself because it is an energy gain. Once you're there, it's fine. It's just that social anxiety of like getting out the door. And even if you're going alone, like I was going alone, but I knew people that would be there. Does that make sense? So even that was like, I didn't allow it to be a drain. I know people with anxiety, you kind of allow it to be a drain, right? You buy tickets to things and you don't go because you just don't want to leave the house. Like, you know how many times I've done that?
We've all
so
done
is there
that,
a challenge for myself? Say that again.
We've all done that, by the way.
Well, it's the ADHD thing too. Like on an ADHD high, I bought tickets to something and now I'm on the low on the date of the show. And it's like, I don't want to go. What helped me with that actually is creating content around it. like convincing myself, oh, this actually would be great content. So the impetus to get me out the door to go to the thing was content, but once I was there, I was actually enjoying myself. So like energy gain. What is a challenge I can do for the next event to sort of make it a game? Like, I feel like if I gamify it and I'm like, I have to like report back to Jim that like this was the challenge and this is how I succeeded. Does that make sense? Is there sort of like a challenge or a game for myself so that I can force myself a little bit to not just attach myself to the people that I know?
100%. And great question, as always, producer Rachel, coming in hot. I love it. I love it. First and foremost, let's gamify this thing. Let's just call it what it is. Let's play a game. Rule number 1 of the game: leave your cell phone in the car.
No, I'm already out. I can't. How am I going to look them up on Instagram?
You don't need to
How are we
look them
going to
up
share
on Instagram.
information?
You're going to share, you know your cell phone number, right? You know it. You know
Barely.
it.
It took me forever to figure it out.
But think about that, all right? If you just leave the phone in the car right off the rip, you're already in a completely different situation and scenario, and you've taken away your number 1 crutch, right? Because the phone is the first place we go to when we feel uncomfortable. So you walk in and you're at a networking event and there's 2 people there. You're probably like, okay, cool, there's only 2 people here. Like, I'm not overwhelmed, blah, 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 blah. The first thing you're going to go do is pull out your cell phone. You're not going to approach those 2 people. I see it all the time, and it used to be me all the time. So if you don't have the number 1 crutch you're going to go to when you're going into an event, you're now forced to have a conversation because you're not just going to stand there, right? Or now here's the other thing that I was working with a client. They're like, I said, well, now what's the second crutch? You're going to go order a drink. You're going to go stand by the bar. You're going to go talk to you're going to go have a conversation that has no meaning because it's easy and it's comfortable, and you're right about to go have an in-depth conversation. So you're going to take the easy road out, which is normal, right? Like, that's safe, that's comfortable. So, oh gosh, I'm dropping cell phones. If you are at an event, no cell phone when you go in, you're going to be forced to talk to someone. You had a question. You said, should it just be 5 people that I talk to? Should I create a goal? 5 is way too many. Way too many. You're going for quality. You're going for quantity when you look for 5 people over quality. I would rather you go to 2. All you're trying to do is find 2 friends. And a friend could be something you align with in personal life. It could be something you align with in business. It could be, hey, are you an introvert? Because I see you over here. There's 50 people and you're ordering a drink. I'm ordering a drink. I'm an introvert. Are you? Like, that's one of the best ways to start a conversation, because it's like herding cats. Like, in the beginning of an event, the people that are standing around by the bar are all the same cat, right? And in this case, that cat is someone who doesn't want to have the conversations just like you. So there's always someone identical to you in the same mindset, same frame, same nervousness, had a bad day, just got off the phone, lost a deal, had a problem. Kids are late for what they're like. Everybody's going through the same things, right? And that's what the beauty of Impact Effect community is in our community, we have these real, open, honest conversations. And what we find is everybody is navigating things quite identical. And if we can just tweak little things and have those people around us that can do the challenge with you, that you can message on Tuesday after a Monday night event and say, hey, how'd it go last night? Because I talked to 1 person, the goal was 2, but I feel really good about that 1. I'm getting there. And that person says, you know what? Me too, Rachel. Me too. And, I talked to 2, but the second conversation was meh, and I'm starting to figure it out. And I didn't go to the bar. I didn't go to the bar as my crutch. Like, those are the conversations we want to have inside community. That's real community. That's real honesty. That's real vulnerability. And that's real growth. Because at the end of the day, we're never going to do it perfect, especially when it's the first time. But you have to stand up and get up and go and make the event and show up to have that opportunity in front of you. And I think at the end of the day, Are you going to go home and right before you fall asleep go, dang, maybe I should have talked to another person. Maybe I shouldn't have, stayed at the bar. Maybe I shouldn't have brought my phone in. Um, and then the last thing I would say, going off of your piece of like, hey, I want to get content. Let me focus on content. It'll get me in the room. This is great. I'm going to be talking to people. Obviously, you're probably not going to leave your phone in the car, but some of the best conversations that I've had at a conference was two people are talking there, and I always look for the feet. So you can do this with the belly button too, but where is their feet or their belly button angled? So if two people are talking and their feet are like this and they're directly looking at each other, you're not going to break into that conversation. And if you are, you're going to get a snarl because they're in depth. They're looking at each other. They're not even seeing you out of their peripheral. They're chatting, they're deep. So whenever two people are doing that and I want to get into the conversation, I pull out my phone and I capture a short little 15-second clip of them talking. And then I wait. And then once they start to break, I say, oh, hey guys, hey gals, I just got this cool piece of content. You guys really engaging in a conversation. I want to send it over to you. What's your cell phone number? I'm Jim Morris, by the way. What did I just do right there? It wasn't the right time. They were engaged, looking at each other. So I didn't want to break that conversation. I was patient. I just showed patience. I just showed how much I'm observing and watching and paying attention. I just shot a short piece of content. So I just created a value point to say, hey, I have this cool piece of content. You guys engaging at this event. And I gave an opportunity to grab their cell phone number and their name because I'm texting them that piece of content. And I'm doing it right there in the moment. A lot of the times I would say, I'll send it to you later. Don't do that because what you're doing is you're pushing off something you can do now until later. And we know that that causes problems. We talk about this in the impact effect community is if you're able, capable, and willing today, do it today because we don't know what tomorrow's promised, right? So out of all of this, I think there's multiple opportunities for you, Rachel, to engage at different levels, to provide value, and to just understand the room, knowing that don't go in there and look for 5 deals. Don't go in there and say, I've got to talk to 17 people who are ready to buy a house. I'm a real estate agent. Like, don't do that stuff. Go in there and say, who are 2 people that I can potentially be friends with and would enjoy a cup of coffee, a pastry, a cocktail, whatever your prerogative is. Like, find that person or that 2 people and just small wins. Small wins. That's it.
I think that's amazing. I will try to be more cognizant of that next time because it really did. Like as I was leaving, I was like, God, I just literally missed huge opportunities. Like my next best friend could have been in this room and I didn't know because I was so scared of just having a conversation, which is so frustrating.
Do you know how cool it would be for you to send me a video because you're so good at capturing content where you're like walking around and you get reactions and Jim's like a pretty emotional guy, right? So my hands are flaring and like that is great content. You know why? Because I can't shoot that content. And it would cost me $1,500 if I had someone follow me around at that event shooting content of me. So like, yeah, it's great to go to an event. And this is what you see all the time. You go to an event and you never see the person engaging. You just see the person taking a video of the event. And it's like, is that what we really want? The consumer wants to see your experience, right? The person watching your content wants to understand, was that event cool? Were they having fun? Were they like, so when you can just shoot a 13-second quick little video, not edited, no music, like no, I'm not saying all that stuff you need to do, and just send them that piece of content that's so valuable. And if it was Jim Morris that you did that for, you would literally probably be saving me at least $500 if I had someone show up for an hour, let alone the whole event. And I'm not saying you need to turn into a content creator. You're leveraging this little value proposition in real time to engage in a deep conversation. And that's just how you start it, right? The next question is the most important one. Hey, what are your dreams? Where are you going in life? Who do you admire? What's the happiest moment of 2024? You know, at the end of the day, what's the big thing you're working on to change the world? How do you define impact? Right? These are all deep questions you can ask, but you've got to start it off somehow, some way. And leveraging the social media, the little video bit is a great way to provide value right off the start, right off the rip.
I should have done that with Instagram stories, because that would have just been an easy conversation. Hey, I've got 10 seconds of you. I'd love to throw it in my stories. How can I tag you as a collaborator so you can repost it and you have it? So I do that with like my friends, but I already know that, do you know what I mean? But I've never thought of just doing that with strangers, having a moment, like a genuine moment, and capturing that for them. So I will be more cognizant in the future. I will go to more like conferences and networking events, because I really do want to practice, right? Like practice makes perfect. And even just communicating takes practice. And I know maybe some people are watching this and they're like, that's so silly. What do you mean practice and being consistent networking and making human connections? My goal is not to network. My goal is to do exactly what Jim teaches, which is to make a human connection. So we learn all about this at Impact Effect Community. So if you guys want to join, impacteffectcommunity.com. Here, I'll throw the little banner up. Let's see, where's our little ticker? Nope, that's not it. Here it is.
But that's the fun part about this stuff, right? Like if you're double guessing it or you're thinking, oh, it's difficult or hard, like just jump in the community, check it out, have an experience with us and make a decision, right? At the end of the day, if this isn't the right community, we'll give you your money back. You know, you have 30 days. Like we are going to blow your socks away, especially when we get real people involved in real conversation to discuss how to have great opportunity and take advantage of it with other people. It's just fun. And it's also something where I'm learning, right? Like there is an exchange of information, not an ego. And I think that's the beauty inside the impact effect.
Well, yeah, when you have people genuinely interested in like, hey, what is it that you're dreaming about that you want to make happen? We can help you do that. It's sort of like, oh, okay. All right. So to wrap this up, I feel like a lot of people are going to networking events this week, right? Like I want everybody to do what Jim just told me to do. If you can leave the phone in the car, leave the phone in the car. I understand that being an issue, but don't let it be your crutch. Don't like sit in the corner on your phone the whole time, pretending like you have important emails to answer and you're just, getting another Amazon delivery.
No one's texting you during that event. You're just acting like it. Again, right. I can say that very directly because I've done it 4,000 times. Okay. Like I'm guilty.
So your challenge is to make a real human connection this week, right? Even if it's not even at a networking event, maybe you're going to lunch, maybe you're in line for something, make a genuine human connection and see where it goes. Like you could literally meet your next best friend waiting in line somewhere at a Starbucks. Do you know what I mean? Like that's how easy it is when you're focused on connection and not just getting through the day.
I love it. We'll see y'all bright and early tomorrow morning, folks.
I know. Have an amazing day, everybody. Bye.